So today I am going to teach you structured query language. A structured query language. So what is a structured query language? It is a language which is used to manage data. Whenever you are trying to manage data, add data, delete data, okay, modify data, update data. Whenever you are trying to perform these kinds of operations, in that case you will need this language here, that is called structured query language, SQL. Okay, so this is the SQL which I am going to teach you. Now what is the SQL? SQL is a single line command language. SQL is a single line command language because in SQL majority of commands that you are going to run are in single line. You will have a very single line, you can run that single line and your command will be executed here. Okay, so I am going to teach you this SQL here, structured query language. Okay, and with the help of this language SQL, we are going to construct our database. Okay, so first of all let's talk about what is actually a database. See, a database is a collection of tables, different tables. What is a database? Database is a collection of your different kinds of tables here, which can have different kinds of columns, different kinds of rows, and where you are trying to store your data. That is called a database. Here, that it is a collection of tables. Database is a collection of your different tables here, in which you are trying to store your different kind of data. So I am going to run one database by the name of LMS. I am going to build up one database by the name of LMS. So my database name will be LMS. LMS stands for Library Management System. So I am going to make one database by the name of LMS. Now this LMS database will have will have 4 tables. This LMS database will have 4 tables here. My first table will be books table, where I am going to store the data of books. Okay. My second table will be users table, where I am going to store the data of my users for login data, for login form. Okay. My third table will be admin data, where I am going to store the data of librarian, the librarian who will manage the books, the librarian who will manage the library, that is called admin here. So I will have one admin table and I will have one issue table. These are the 4 tables I am going to build in my database. Inside my database LMS, I am going to build up these 4 tables here: books, user, admin, and issue. You can say books, users, admins, and issue. These are the 4 tables I am going to build up here. Now, in books table, I will have 3 columns. In books table, I will have 3 columns. So book ID, book name, and author name. Book ID, book name, and author name. These are the three I will have available in my books table. Okay. Then let's talk about users table. So in users table, I will have 2 columns: user ID and user password. User ID and user password. These are the 2 columns which will be available here. So let me write PWD, user password. Okay. These are the 2 columns which will be available in my users table. In my admin table, I will have 2 columns: admin ID and admin password, so that they can log in. In my system here, so that they can log in my project. So admin ID and admin password. These 2 columns will be available in this admin table. And in issue table, I am going to store the data of issue, the books which are being issued by the student. The books which are being issued by the users, I am going to store their data as well. So I will have issue ID. I will have issue ID. I will have issue ID. I will have book ID, the book which has been issued, the book which was being issued here, book ID, and then I will have user ID, and then I will have user ID as well. That which user has issued which book. Which user has issued which book, that is the information which will be given by these book ID and user ID. Okay, so that is how I will be able to store the data of issue as well. The books which are being issued, by different users here, I will be able to store those data as well. So this is the structure of my database. that my database name will be LMS. It will have 4 tables: books, users, admins, issue. Okay, and every table will have these columns here. Every table will have these columns here. That is what will be available here. Okay, that is what will be available here. Okay, so this is what you can see here. Now in each of these columns, 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 we need one column which can uniquely identify the row. In every table, see, in every table you want to uniquely identify your rows. It is very important to uniquely identify the rows. And how we can do that? If you want to uniquely identify the rows in your table, you can make one column as a primary key. What you can do, out of all of those your columns, you can make one column as a primary key. So for example, I can make book ID as a primary key here. Okay, in the users table I can make user ID as a primary key. What is a primary key? Primary key is simply any column which is very helpful for uniquely identifying any row from the table. Let me give you an example. So for example, let's say you are a student. So for example, let's say you are a student. So all the data of your students will be stored somewhere. All the data of you students, of all of you students, all the data of you students will be stored in some student database. Now if I want to uniquely identify each and every student, so how can I do that? Roll number. With the help of roll number. So roll number is a kind of a primary key. Roll number is a kind of a primary key which is used to uniquely identify each and every student, each and every particular student. Aadhaar number is also a primary key. Aadhaar number is also a primary key which is used to uniquely identify your rows from the data. Okay, so that is also what is possible here, that you can have these columns and these columns can have one primary key. Okay, so this is what is possible here. This is what you can do in your database. Okay, so this is what is possible here. That is how I am going to make these columns as primary key. I am going to make these columns as primary key. So whenever you want to uniquely identify an entry, whenever you want to uniquely identify one entry from your table, one row from your table, then you can do that with the help of primary key. That is the structure of my database. This is the structure of my database I am going to create. Okay, and here you can search MySQL download. Okay, then you will come to this page. MySQL installer 8.0.34. Okay, so this is what is possible here. This is the page here. Okay, so let me show you one more time. On the Google you can search MySQL download, then click on the second link. Click on this second link, MySQL installer 8.0.34. This is the latest version of MySQL. Okay, then you will come to this page. As soon as you will come to this page, you can click on this this below button. You can come to this below button. There are two buttons are available. Click on the below button. And you can start downloading the setup in your computer. No thanks, just start my download. And it will start downloading the setup in your computer. See, as you can see in my computer, it is downloading the setup in my computer. Okay, so I am downloading the latest version of 8.0.34 into my MySQL. Okay, make sure to click on the lower button and then this setup will be able to download here. Okay, so that is what is possible here. That is how you will be able to download the setup here. Okay, so let the setup get downloaded. And as soon as the setup will download, we will open the setup and we will install MySQL in our computer. Okay, so installation of MySQL is very important. That is how you are going to do it. Okay, so let this get installed. Okay, so this setup has been downloaded in my computer. Now you can open the setup. So it is opening the setup here. Okay, so it is opening the setup here. Now when it will try to open the setup, it will take a little bit of time here. Okay, but it will open the setup for you in and it will ask you for some permission here. You may not be able to see the permission on screen. You may not be able to see the permission on screen, but it will ask some kind of permission here. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Something like that. MySQL installer community 8.0.34. Yes. Click on the yes. If you will see something like that, then click on yes button. Okay. And then it will ask for one more permission. Then it will ask for one more permission, MySQL installer launcher.exe. Then it will ask for one more permission, launcher.exe. Again click on yes. Again click on yes, and it will open the MySQL installer in your computer. See, it is opening the MySQL installer in my computer. So some screen like this will appear. Okay. When you will open MySQL installer in your computer, this kind of screen will available in your computer. Okay. Now what will happen here, that you have to download some things here that you can use here. Okay, you have to download something here that you can use here. So you can click on, so from here a lot of options are available. A lot of options are available. So from here you can select the third option. Please select the third option, full option. There are a lot of options are available. You can select the third option, full option, and then you can click on next button, and it will start installing all these things in your computer. Then it will start installing all of these things in your computer. Okay, then click on next button, and it will ask you that whether you want to install all these things. Click on execute button. Click on execute button, and it will start installing all these things in your computer. So now as you can see here, see, all the products are successfully completed. All the products are successfully completed. Now you can click on next button, and now you can configure your MySQL. What is the meaning of configuration? Configuration means you have to set up your password. You have to set up your server here. Those things you have to do. So click on next button. Okay, then you will come to this page, type and networking. Nothing you have to change. There is nothing you have to change here. Click on next button, and you will come to this page, authentication method. Nothing you have to change. Click on next button, and here you can take the password from your MySQL. Here for your MySQL you can take the password. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, that is what you can do here. The same you can do for this one as well. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. You can take any password. You can take any password for your MySQL, but please remember that you have a password that you can remember. Okay, make sure that you take a password which you can always remember, because that is further will be used. Okay, then you will click on next button, and click on next again. Server file permission, click on next button. Nothing you have to change, and click on execute button. Now click on execute button, and it will start executing these things in your computer, and it will start installing these things in your computer. Okay, so that is what will happen here. This is what you will be able to do. Now you can click on finish button. So this will be completed. Now click on next button again, product configuration. Again click on finish button. So it will be finished. Again product configuration. Next. And now you can connect to your server. So type the same password. Remember your username. Your username is root. Your username is root, and you have to write your password. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I will write the password, and if connection succeeded, if you can see something like this, connection succeeded, that means your server is completed here. Now you can click on next button and execute this configuration as well. Execute this configuration as well, and it will start and it will complete this step as well. Now you can click on finish button and click on next again, and the installation has been complete. See, as you can see here, now the installation has been complete in your computer. Now you can click on finish button. Now you can click on finish button, and as soon as you will click on finish button, this shell will open in your computer, and this MySQL workbench will open in your computer. Okay, these two things will open in your computer. These two things will open in your computer, MySQL shell and MySQL workbench. Now we do not need shell. Now we do not need shell, so I am closing the shell. I am closing the shell because I do not need the shell, but workbench is important for you. Workbench is important for you because this is the place where you are going to work on your data. This is the place where you are going to work on your data. As you can see here, your MySQL connections are written here. As you can see, your SQL connections are written here. So you can see this is your connection. This is the connection which is running in the backend of your computer. This is the connection which is running in the backend of your computer. You can click on this one, and here you can write your password to connect with your MySQL server. If you want to connect with your MySQL server, there are many ways to connect with your MySQL server. There are many ways to connect with your MySQL server. Excel is available. Python is available, Power BI is available, this workbench is available. Okay, a lot of tools are available which you can use whenever you want to connect with your MySQL server. Why? Because MySQL server will have all of your data. Because MySQL will have all of your data, so you can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, your password. You have to write your password here and click on OK button. First time when you will connect with the server, so you will see something like this screen. Okay, so what you can do here is that first of all, what you can do, first of all, you can remove this window. What is the first thing you can do? You can remove this window, because this window we do not need. We do not need this window in our MySQL workbench. So what I will do, click on this view button, and click on this panels and hide secondary sidebar. Hide secondary sidebar, so this window will be disappear from your screen. That window will disappear from your screen, and this window will appear in the whole screen. This window will appear in the whole screen. Now this is the place where you are going to write your SQL commands. This is the place where you are going to write your SQL commands, and with the help of your SQL commands, you will be able to manage your data. And with the help of SQL commands, you will be able to manage your data. So for example, this is my SQL command. For example, this is my SQL command. I wanted to execute this SQL command. If I wanted to execute this SQL command, then first of all, highlight your command. Whatever command you want to execute, highlight the command and click on this button. Click on this electricity icon. Okay. So whenever you want to, run your SQL command, what you can do, you can select your SQL command like this and click on this electricity icon. So your SQL command will be executed. That is what will happen here. Okay, so this is your playground area. This is your area where you are going to write your SQL commands and you are going to manage your data. Now, please see where is my cursor. Here is my cursor. See, as you can see here is my cursor. Click on this schemas button. So when you will click on this schemas button, see, this is my icon. Okay, click on this schemas button. So you will be able to see all these schemas on your database. You will be able to see all the schemas on your server. Schemas means your databases. Schema means your databases. So all of your databases will be available here. Okay, all of your databases will be available here. That is what will happen. So this is what you will be able to see here, that 3 default databases are available. As you can see, 3 default databases are available here. That is what you can do here. So this is what is possible here. That is what you will be able to do here. That is what you can use. Okay, and this is what you can do. And then what you can do, you can click on this. Okay, so here you will be able to see all of your database. Then you will be able to work on your data. Okay, now after running your SQL command, you will be able to see the output in this lower area, in this lower section. See, in this lower window, you will be able to see your outcome. You will be able to see your output. Okay, whatever is your output, you will be able to see your output here. Okay, whatever is your output, you will be able to see your output here. That is what is possible here. Okay, this is what is possible here. That is how you will be able to work on your database here. Okay, so this is what is possible here. That is what you will be able to do as well. Okay, you will be able to see the outcome here, that whether your SQL command is successfully executed or it is not successfully executed. Okay, so that is also possible here. Now what you can do, you can save your SQL commands here. What you can do, just like you save your Python program, you can click on this save button. And you can save your SQL file somewhere. So for example, let's say I want to save my file by the name of project. This is a SQL file. See, you are trying to save a SQL file. So SQL file will be saved by the name of project. Okay, by the name of project, your SQL file will be saved here. That is something you can do as well. That is something you can do on your project as well. Okay, on your SQL as well. Okay, so you can save your file as well. You can save your SQL commands. You can save your SQL file as well. This is also possible here. This is also something that you will be able to do on your project here. Okay, so when we will develop our project, when we will construct the database, then we will be able to do, then we will be able to work in this area. work in this area. Okay, so this is what is possible here. You will be able to work in this area. Okay, now a lot of options are available here, but these options which I taught you are the most important one. Okay, so that is what you can do here, and you can work on them. Okay, and you can use them according to your requirements here. Okay, so this is possible here. This is called your workbench. This is called your workbench here. The workbench is the most common tool for beginners. For beginners. For beginners, whenever you want to work on your SQL database, then you can use this workbench here. Okay, but other tools are also available. If you search MySQL here, other kinds of tools are also available. For example, MySQL command line client is available. MySQL command line client is available. Here you can write your password. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you will be able to connect with your database. And here you can write your SQL commands. Here you can write your SQL commands and you will be able to see your data. Here you will be able to write your SQL commands and you will be able to see your data. So the same thing you can do here as well. And you will be able to run SQL commands here as well. But this is not the proper way for running the SQL commands. So we are going to use workbench here. So this workbench is the most proper place where you are going to run your MySQL here. Okay, so that is also possible here. This is also possible here. This is something that you can do on your project as well. Okay, now let me show you some other things as well. Go to your search bar. Go to the search bar and type run. Go to the search bar and type run here, and you will be able to open this run block here. Okay, now here you can write services.msc. Here you can write services.msc and you can click OK here. So why we are doing this thing? We are doing this thing so that we can find our MySQL. See, all the services which are running in your computer, all the services which are running in the background of your computer, you will be able to see those services. So all those services will be available here. So many times what happened that your service gets stuck. Your service gets stuck. So you can check your service from here. If you want that, this is not compulsory for you. But what you can do, if your MySQL is not working properly, you can come back here and you can restart the service. You can stop the service. You can pause the service. These are the operations you can perform on your server. This is your server here. This is a server which is running in the background of your computer, and you can use this one for working on your project. Okay, so that is optional here. This part is optional. This is This is something that you can do on your project as well whenever you are trying to work here. Okay, so this is what is possible here. This is how you can work on your workbench here. Okay, so what I can do here is that first of all, let me teach you how can you create a database. The first and foremost step for you. The first step for you is to create a database. How can you create a database? See, whenever you want to create a database, use create keyword, then database keyword. Create keyword, database keyword. Create keyword, database keyword, then the name of your database. By whatever name you want to create a database. That is how you can create a database. Okay, whenever you want to create a database in your DBMS, in your database management system, this is my database management system. Here I want to create my database. Already 3 databases are available. Sakila, Sys, World. These 3 databases are also available, but you can create your own database. And inside that database you can store your data with the help of this command. Create keyword, database keyword, then the name of your database. So I want to create a database by the name of LMS. So how can I do that? Create keyword, as I told you, create keyword, database keyword, create keyword, database keyword, then the name of my database. So the name of my database is LMS. Semicolon is very important. Semicolon after every line. Semicolon is very important. So you can write semicolon. Okay, and your command is completed. This is my command. As you can see here, this is my command to create a database by the name of LMS. How can I run the command? Select your command, highlight your command, and click on this electricity icon. And you will be able to see a green tick here. you will be able to see a green tick here. If you can see green tick in the output section, see in the down section, you can see here a green tick. Green tick means your command has been successfully executed. Green tick means your command has been successfully executed. Okay, so now your LMS database has been created, but I cannot see it here. As you can see, I cannot see the LMS database. Why? Because you have to refresh your database. Click on this small button. As you can, please see my cursor. Please see my cursor. You can click on this small refresh button and you will be able to refresh your database management system and you will be able to watch a new database. See, a new database has been created. A new database has been created and inside this database you can work. You can work inside the database. Now let's try to run this command one more time. Try to run this command one more time, but this time it will show the error. Why? As you can see, red cross is given here. See, red cross is given here. That means the command is not successfully executed. Why? Because you cannot create a database which already exists. See, it is telling you the answer as well. It is telling you why it cannot create it. Can't create database LMS. Database exists because database already exists. Because database already exists, you cannot create another database. Because database already exists, you cannot create another database. That is something you cannot do. Okay, so this is what is possible here. This is what you will be able to do. That is how you can create a database. Now, after creating the database, let's say you want to delete a database. Now, let's say you want to delete a database. So, how can you delete a database? Drop keyword, database keyword. You can write the drop keyword, database keyword, then the name of your database. And that is how you can drop any database. Here with the help of this command. Drop keyword, database name. Drop keyword, database name. That is how you can drop any database. So what can I do? I can go to next line and I can write drop keyword, database keyword, then LMS. So drop database LMS. Select, highlight this command, and you can run this command and see your database is removed from the left hand side section. See, from the left hand side section, now your database has been removed. That is how you can remove a database. This is also possible. Now, since your database has been removed, can you create it again? Now, since your database has been removed, you can create it again as well. Again, highlight the first command. And click on electricity icon. So again, your database will be created here. That is how you can create a new database. Okay, so this is possible here. That is how you can create a database, and that is how you can delete a database. Okay, so this is what is possible here. That is how you can create a database and you can delete a database. And now let's say you want to work inside a database. If you want to work inside a database, you have to select a database. A database should be selected. A database should be selected if you want to work on the database. The database should be selected. So how can you do that? Use keyword, then database name. See, your database management system can have many databases. And you want to work on a certain kind of database. And that is why this third command is very important. Many times, whenever let's say you have work on your program. Okay, let's say you have work on the project, and after working on the project, let's say you close your MySQL workbench, you shut down your computer, and next day you open your computer again and you are trying to run the commands here. What is the common mistake people make? The common mistake people make that they directly start to run their commands. If they're trying to add a row, if they are trying to delete a row, they directly try to run that command. No, it will never run. Why it will never run? Because your database is never selected. Whenever you close your computer and you open it again later on, then your database is not selected anymore. So every time you are trying to work on your database, what is the very first operation? Whenever you are trying to work on your already existed database. If you are trying to work on your already existed database, what is the first command? The first command is to select the database. Unless you are selecting your database, you will not be able to run the remaining commands here. So what can I do here? Use LMS. This command is very, very important. This command is very, very important. Many people make mistake here. Many people make mistake here that they do not run this command every time. You have to run this command every time. You have to run this command every time whenever you are trying to work on your already existed database. So run this command. Now your database is selected. Now your database is selected here. Okay, now your database is selected. So now you can work inside the database. Now you can work inside the database. Okay, so this is possible here. This is what you can do on your database as well. So that is how you can select a database. That is how you can select a database. That is also possible as well. So create database, delete a database, select a database. Now after selecting the database, what else you can do? Now you can create a table inside the database. Create a table inside a database. So now you want to create a table inside database. So how can you do that? Create keyword. Table keyword. Create keyword. Table keyword. Then the name of your table. Create keyword. Table keyword. Then the name of your table. Create table. Table name. Okay. Round brackets open. Round brackets close. Now, whenever you are trying to create a table, it is very important to define the columns as well. Whenever you are trying to create a table, it is very important to define the columns along with it. It is very important to define the columns. So round brackets, inside the round brackets, you can write your first column name. So let's say column name 1. Okay. Then you can write the data type of your column. Integer, character, what kind of column you are trying to store. So column name, data type. Then you can write the size of your data as well. Say that how much size you want to give to your data. Okay, that is something you can write as well. Again, one more column. So column name. So column name 2, data type, and let's say size. And you can do that as long as you want. Okay, so you can have as many columns as you want. In the end, you can have one primary key parameter, and inside this primary key parameter, you can write the name of that column which you want to make as a primary key. That is something you can do here. So this is what is possible here. Okay, and that is how you will be able to work on this one as well. Okay, so this is also possible. So this is what you can do as well. This is your command for creating a table. Create keyword, table keyword, the name of your table. First column name is data type, its size. Second column name is data type, its size. Third column name is data type, its size, and so on. And so on. You can have as many columns as you want, and then in the end you can make one column as a primary key, and inside the bracket you can write the name of the column which you want as a primary key. So for example, I want to create this books table. So for this books table, I will have 3 columns here: book ID, book name, and author name. I will have these 3 columns here: book ID, book name, and author name, and I want book ID as my primary key. Okay, remember this thing. I want one table by the name of books, which will have 3 columns: book ID, book name, and author name, and book ID will be my primary key. So what can I do here? Is that I can write create keyword, table keyword, name of my table is books, and inside this you can write the column name. So column name is book underscore ID, book underscore name, and author underscore name. These are my 3 columns. See, these are my 3 columns here: book ID, book name, author name. Now for each and every column, you can have a data type and you can have the size here. Now I am going to store all of my data into string. And for that I am going to use varchar here. So what is varchar? Varchar is a variable character. Here that you are trying to store your varchar data. Okay, so variable character, string data. Whenever you are trying to store your string data, that is what you can take here, varchar. Now what is 255? 255 is memory size. 255 is the size of the memory, that how much memory you are trying to give here. So 255 stands for 0 to 255. 255 stands for 0 to 255. That means 256. Okay, which is 8 bit. That is considered as 8 bit. If you want to store 8 bits of data, If you want to store in 8 bits of data, so you can store it into this 255 size here. That is the meaning of 255. You do not have to go in great details here. You do not have to go in great details in order to understand this 255. Simply remember 255 stands for the size of the memory. Simply remember 255 stands for the size of the memory in which you are trying to store your data. The same goes for varchar book name as well. So for this one as well, varchar 255, and the same one for author name as well. So varchar 255. Okay, so this is what is possible here. That is what you can do here. That is what you can do here. Now in the end, you can have last column by the name of primary key. You can have a last column by the name of primary key. Okay, so this is what is possible here. And inside this primary key column, you can write the name of that column which you want as a primary key. So I want book ID as my primary key. What I want book ID as my primary key. Okay, so I can write book underscore ID here. Inside the primary key function, I can write the book ID. Okay, so I can select this command. You can select this command and you can run this command. So a table will be created by the name of books. A table will be created by the name of books here. You can refresh your database, and here inside the table section, you will be able to see one table by the name of books. You can see the information. See in this left down section, you can see here the columns of your table: book ID, which is a primary key, book name, author name. Okay, you can see the information of your table here. Okay, so that is what is possible here. That is how you can create a table. Now after creating a table, you can now insert values inside your table. So insert rows into the table. Okay, that is something you can do here. Insert rows into the table. Okay, so how can you insert rows into the table? So for that, insert keyword into keyword, the name of your table name. Insert keyword into keyword, insert word into word, and a table name. After table name, you can have values keyword, and after values keyword, you can have once again a round bracket. Just like you have a round bracket here, the same round bracket you can have here as well. And inside this round bracket, you can pass your values. So inside this round bracket, what can I do? I can pass the value for column name 1. I can pass the value for column name 2, and so on. And so on for every column name. For every column name, according in the same order in which I have defined the column, is the same way I can write the values here. So column 1 value, comma column 2 value, and so on. Okay, that is what is possible here. That is what you will be able to do here, and you will be able to use it. Okay, so this is what is possible here. That is how you can insert rows. Into your table. If you want to insert rows into your table, this is the command that you can execute here. Okay, so let's try to execute this command. Let's try to insert some dummy data. Let's try to insert some data into our books table. So insert into books, table name is books, values, and here you can write the values here. Okay, so what are the values here? Values are book ID, book name, and author name. So book ID can be any value for book ID. So for example, let's say B001. Let's say my book ID is B001. Then we have book name. So what can be the book name? The book name can be maybe, let's say, Let's Learn Python. Any book name. You can have any book name here. So let's say Let's Learn Python here. That is the name of the book. Then author name is, let's say, Arun. Author name is let's say Arun here. Okay, so that is what you can do here. That is how you can have one row. See, this is my one row inside my table. This is my one row inside my table here. That is what you can do here. Okay, so I have 3 columns. As you can see here, I have 3 columns in my table. So according to those 3 columns, I have passed the value B001 for book ID, Let's Learn Python for book name, and Arun for author name. In the same order, I have passed the value. So you can select this command and you can run this one, and your row will be inserted in your table. Your row will be inserted into the table. Okay, that is something possible here. Now let's say you want to add one more data. So B002, let's say some other kind of data. Let's say introduction to AWS, and let's say book name is Mira, as author name is Mira. Okay, so you can run this command and another row will be added. Another row will be added in your data. Okay, so you will be able to add entries. These are called entries. These are called entries. Entries means rows. Entries means rows. You are trying to add rows in your data. You are trying to add some entries in your data. Okay, so that is what is possible here. This is how you can add new rows in your data as well, and then you can work on it. Then you can uh, retrieve the data as well. So if you want to retrieve the data, if you want to get the data, okay, so to retrieve the table data, excuse me, to retrieve the table data. Okay, so if you are trying to retrieve the table data, what you can do here, you can run select command, select asterisk from table name. Select asterisk from table name. That is your command. This is the command which is available in front of you. Select asterisk table name. Select asterisk table name. This is the command which is available for you. You can run this command. You can run this command and you will be able to have your data here. Okay, you will be able to have your data here. Then you will be able to work on the data. Then you will be able to work on the data. That is what is possible here. So select asterisk from table name. Okay, so that is what I can do here. So for example, let's say select asterisk from table name. You can see, you can retrieve all the data. You can retrieve all the data from your table. So select keyword, asterisk keyword, from keyword, table name. Table name is books. This is your command here. This is your command here. You can select this command. You can select this command and run this command and see your data is available in the output screen. See, this is your another output screen. This is another output screen, and in this output screen you can see your data. See, book ID, book name, author name. These are your three columns. These are three columns, and you have two rows here. B001, let's learn Python, Arun. B002, introduction to AWS, Mira. That is how you are trying to add your data. See, your data has been added into your database. That is how you are able to add some data into your database here. You are able to organize your data into the tables here, and you are able to add the data. Okay, so this is what is possible here. That is how row by row. That is how row by row you can add more data and you can work on the data. So B003, let's say Tango for professionals. Okay, and let's say Manish, let's say Manish. Okay, so let me run this command. You can run this command and now you will have three rows. Now you will have three rows here. So run this command. So now you will have three rows here. Okay, but let me tell you one more thing. Let me tell you one more thing. Book ID is the primary key. Book ID is a primary key. It should never be repeated again. So let's see if I try to add this same data one more time. Maybe let's say by another name. Maybe let's say by another name here. Let's say maybe let's say by another name here. Data science. Data science with Python. Okay. So for example, if let's say this is my another book, and I wanted it here. So for example, let's say Utkarsh, something like Utkarsh. Okay, and let me run this command. So this will not work. This will show the error. Why? Why it will show the error? Because primary key is same. See, primary key cannot be same. Everything can be same. Everything in your table can be same. Everything in your table can be same, but primary key cannot be same. Duplicate entry P003 for key books primary. For the primary key, we have a duplicate entry. For the primary key, we have a duplicate entry, and that is why you are not able to add this row. That is why you are not able to add this row. So remember this thing. Okay. So this is what is possible here. That is what you can do here, and that is what you can do here. And okay. So this is possible here. This is possible here. That is how you can work on your data and you can show your data. Okay. You can show your data like this. You can show your data like this. Now what else can you do? After retrieving your data, you can do, after retrieving your data, let's say you want to let's say you want to update a row. Let's say you want to update a row. So to update a row, so if you are trying to update a row, you can update a row in your table as well. You can update a row in your table as well. So to update a row, for example, let's say there is a particular value in your row that you are trying to update. So what you can do, update table name, update table name, okay, set keyword, then the column name. The column name in which you want to update, the column name in which you want to update, column name equals to new value. Column name equals to new value, whatever is the new value that you are trying to pass here. Column name equals to new value. Where keyword, okay, so update keyword, table name, set keyword, column name equals to new value, where where uh, where where row name. So row name is also very important. Row name equals to primary key. Row name equals to primary key value. So you can write the primary key value here and you will be able to update a row. You will be able to update a row. Let me show you one example. Let me show you one example here. So this is your books table. Okay, this is your books table in front of you. So for example, let's say I want to, so for example, if I wanted to update it, so for example, let's say introduction to AWS to, let's say Azure for beginners. I want to change the name. I wanted to change here. So for example, let's learn Python to let's learn Java. I wanted to update the value. I wanted to update the value from let's learn Python to let's learn Java. So how can I do it here? How can I do that here? So first of all, you have to remember the row. You have to remember the row and you have to remember the column. You have to remember the row and you have to remember the column. So in the column, what value you want to change? So book name value you want to change. So you can write here, update books set, update books set, set book name. The column that you are trying to update. The column that you are trying to update, you can write the name of your column. So book name equals to new value. You can write the new value here. So my new value is let's learn Java. Let's learn Java. That is the new value. So let's learn Java. And where row name. So row, you can identify the row with the help of primary key. With the help of primary key, you can identify the row. So where book underscore ID equals to B001. So here you have to write the primary key. Here you have to write the primary key, and now you can run this command. Now you can run this command. So at the place of let's learn Python, you will have let's learn Java. So run this command and try to print your table one more time. Try to print your table one more time. See the database has been updated. As you can see here, my database has been updated here. That is how you can update the values. That is how you can update the values. Okay, so this is also possible here. That is how you can update the table as well. So this is also possible here. That is how you can update a row. So for example, let's say now you want to delete a row. To delete a row. So you can delete a row as well. If you wanted to delete a row, then you can delete a row as well. So delete keyword, table name, delete keyword, from keyword, table name, where keyword, okay, primary key column, primary key column, sorry, here you can write primary key column. So the column which is your primary key, that is something you can write here. So primary key column equals to primary key value. So where primary key column equals to primary key value. Okay, that is something you can write here. Whatever value you will write here, that row will be removed. The primary key value that you will write here, that row will be deleted from your table. That is how you can delete a row as well. Okay, that is how you can delete a row as well. So let me write this command as well. So delete from books where book underscore ID equals to, you can write the book ID value and you will be able to remove the book. Okay, so what you can do, so for example, let's say I want to remove this row B002. I want to remove this row B002. So I can simply write B002 here and I can run this command and the row will be deleted from your table. You can print your table again. See your row has been deleted. See your B002 row has been deleted. That is how you can delete a row. That is also possible here. That is how you can delete a row as well. So this is also possible here. This is also possible here. This is something you can do as well. That is how you can delete a row from your table as well. Okay. Now let's say you want to delete the entire table. To delete a table, you want to delete your entire table here. So that is something possible as well. Drop keyword, table name, and you can delete your entire table as well. You can delete your entire table as well with the help of this command. Okay, with the help of this command, you can delete your entire table as well. That is also possible here. Okay, this is something you can do as well. Okay, so what I am going to do here is that now I will so what I will do here is that uh, so what I will do here is that I will try to delete the table here. Okay, so drop keyword, table keyword, then books, and you can delete your entire table as well. Select this command and run this one from here, and you will be able to delete your entire table. See, your table has now been removed. Now if you try to print your table, you will not be able to see the answer. Now this time you will see this sign here for printing the table. For printing the table, you will see something like that, because now your table has been deleted. LMS books does not exist. Books table does not exist. You can see the message here. You can see the message here as well, here, that your books table doesn't exist. So that is possible here. But now what you can do? You can run these commands one more time. So I will run fourth line one more time. So table has been created. Now you can run this command. So your row has been inserted. And now you can run this third line. So your books table is created here. Okay. So this is what is possible here. That is how you can manage your database. Delete, add, modify. All these things you can do on your database. To maintain your data properly. Here, this is what is possible here. Okay, so this is what you can do. Now in the same way, just like I have created the books table. I will create the other tables as well. So users table, admins table, issue table, I will create those tables as well. Okay, so I can create those tables as well. So create keyword, table keyword, users. Okay, then inside the users, you can have two columns here: user ID, varchar 255, and user password. These are the two columns here: user underscore password. So that is my varchar 255. Now which one is the primary key? User ID is the primary key. So user ID is the primary key. So primary key, user ID, user underscore ID. That is how you can have this column here. That is how you can have this table here. So you can run this command. And now you will have one users table. You can add some data into users table. As well. So insert into users values. So I can write some users values here. So for example, let's say Barkha 109 @mylibrary.com. That is the ID here, for example, and let's say the password is Barkha 6012, something like this. This is the password. So that is how you are creating a login ID and the password for one student to log in your system, for one student to use your services, for one student to use your library management system. You are making ID and password. Now these ID and password will be useful in the future. When we will try to build up login form or something like that. So you can run this command. So one value has been inserted here. Okay, you can add some more data as well. So for example, let's say Adarsh 2898 @mylibrary.com, and let's say some kind of password here. Maybe let's something like Mumbai Adarsh. That is the password. Okay, that is for example another ID and password. So I can run this command, and one more row has been inserted here. Now you can see your data. So select asterisk from users. select asterisk from user. So you can run this command, and now you will be able to see your users table. Now you will be able to see your users table. Okay, so my users table has 2 entries here, Adarsh and Barkha. Okay, so this is possible here. That is how you can add a users table. Now in the same way you can make a admin table. In the same way you can have a admin table as well. So for example, create table admin, admins, admin ID, admin ID, and admin password, and admin ID. Admin ID is the primary key. You can run this command, and this time one admin table will be created for you. Now one admin table will be created for you. Now inside the admin table, table, you can add some data for admin here. So with the help of insert into admins values, and here you can write the values here. So for admin, so what can I write here? I can write, let's say, myadmin@mylibrary.com, and let's say the password is, for example, this is the password. Okay, for example, this is the password. So I will have only one admin. I will have only one admin here, and that is the admin ID and password for them. And now you can run your admin. So select asterisk from admin. However, you can make as many admins as you want. But I am making only one administrator here. So that is the admin table. That is how you can have an admin table. Now in the same way, you can have one more table here by the name of, let's say, issue. I wanted to store the data of issue. I wanted to store the data of issue. So insert into, create table issue. Okay, issue underscore ID varchar 255, and let's say book underscore ID is the varchar 255, and then we have user ID varchar 255. But in this table, issue ID is the primary key. In this table, issue ID is the primary key. Why issue ID is the primary key, not the book ID and user ID? See, because primary key should always be unique. It cannot be duplicated. But if you try to take real world data, single book can be issued by multiple people, right? So book ID can be repeated, and a single person can issue multiple books. So user ID can also be repeated here, and that is why these two are not taken as a primary key here. And I will take issue ID as a primary key. So that is something possible here. That is something you can do here. So primary key issue underscore ID. So I will make issue ID as the primary key. I will make issue ID as the primary key. Now you can run this command. So your issue table will also be created here. Now inside the issue table, you can add some data. So insert into issue. So what I am going to add in issue ID. So in terms of issue ID, I will try to store the date of issue, the date and time of issue. That is something I will take as a issue ID. Okay, so maybe something like 2023 07 27 22 colon 16. That is 10 o'clock 10 hours 16 p.m. 10 hours 16 minutes. 10 hours 16 minutes p.m. And you can write some kind of second here, maybe something like 34, and you can write milliseconds as well. That is the kind of primary key you can generate for your issue. Why we are generating such a complicated primary key? Complicated primary key? Because this value will be generated by user. And whenever something is generated by user, you do not want them to be duplicated. And that is why I will generate the primary key like this one. Okay, that is something you will be able to do here, because book will be issued by user. And you do not want user to give the issue ID, because if the user will give issue ID, the issue ID can be duplicated as well. And that is why we will create the issue ID using programming language, but not with the help of user. Okay, then you can have book ID. So book ID, let's say B003, and let's say user ID can be, let's say, this one, others 2898@mylibrary.com. So Adarsh has issued this book. Adarsh has issued this book B003 at this time. Okay, so this is what is possible here. This is what you can do on your this is what you can do on your table. Okay, and that is what you can write here. That is what you can write here. So select this command. Now you can select this command and run this command. So now your this data will be added here. This data will be added, and then you can see this data as well. So select escape from issue. Select escape from issue here. Select escape from issue. Okay, that is something possible as well. So you can select this command and you can run this one and see your data is available here. As you can see here, your data is available here. So that is something you can do here. Okay, so that is something you can do here. That is how you can make your database. So we have successfully created our database. See, we have successfully created our database. I created one database by the name of LMS, which has 4 tables: books, user, admin, issue, and all of these books table has these different columns here, and they have the different primary key, and where you are trying to store your data, and where you are trying to store your data. Okay, so this is available here. This is what you can do whenever you are trying to use SQL. So that is how you can use SQL. SQL is a single line command language. SQL is a single line command language. The commands that you are going to use in SQL are single line. Okay, and you can run these single line commands. You can run these single line commands in order to work on your database. Here. So this is what is possible here. This is what you can do on your database. Okay, this is how you can create your database. That is how you can modify your database. That is how you can create tables inside the database. That is how you can delete tables or delete values inside the database. All these things you can do here. Okay, these are all the things that you can do inside your database here. Okay, now for practice purpose. If you want to use the command line, you can use the command line as well. However, I recommend the workbench. I only recommend the workbench here, but you can use this command line here as well. That for practice purpose. And I can write my password here, and now you can run your SQL commands here as well. If you want to run your SQL commands in the command line, so you can practice here as well. So for example, first of all, I can use my database. So use LMS, and now you can run your command. So select asterisk from users. So run this command. See, all the data from the users table. All the data from the users table will be available here. All the data from the users table will be available here. So that is what you can do here. Okay, and then you can do the something opposite as well. So for example, maybe something like, let's say I wanted to insert some row. So insert into books values. Let's say D004. Okay, and let's say web development for professionals. Okay, and then you can write here, for example, let's say Alok, something like Alok. Okay, you can run this command. And see, this data has been added in your database. Now you can run your command. So select asterisk from books and run this commands. See, your data is available here, and the same data is available here as well. The same data is available in the workbench as well. If you try to run the workbench, inside the workbench, the same data you will be able to see here as well. Okay, so you can practice at these. Different sources here. Okay, so these are also possible here if you wanted to practice at these different sources here. For practice purpose, these different sources are very good for you. You can use them according to your own requirement. Okay, so this is what is possible here. This is your today's topic.